All right, Mech Warriors, we've got some incoming Q&A. Battletech. Question, what is an initiative sync? Now, in yesterday's vlog, when we were discussing some tanks and exploring various tactics with combined arms, this idea of an initiative sync was mentioned. And this is a very, very important tactica, either to build on, to build for, or just to understand. So if you're facing it, you're not caught unaware or you're not caught in trouble. Now, initiative is key. Initiative is everything in Battletech. This idea of a positive initiative where, let's just say it's one mech versus one mech to make it easy. A positive initiative is where you move first. You move first and I get to counter that. That is massive. If you move a mech or you move a piece into the wrong place, I might get rear armor. I might be able to move up and have a certain firing arc for all of my weapons while you don't have any of your weapons. And if we're talking the scenario of one mech versus one mech, if I lose initiative and I have to move first, knowing that you're going to move second, I'm going to have to be a lot more conservative or risky. At that point, usually what I would do is I'd probably try to back up against some terrain or city fight, city tech, a building. I would have to take into account where you're moving. Now, this gets a little bit more intricate the bigger the game that you play. There might be a scenario where we have a lance or two fighting each other, and I'm ahead in the initiative. You move your last piece, and then I have one or two pieces to move, or I have other elements of my battle force that I'm going to move, and you can't effectively counter. Now, in Battletech, initiative is equal based on the number of units that you have. And if you have more than a certain number of units, you'll move them in groups. As you start taking losses, this is the challenge with initiative. This is why taking losses is massive in Battletech. And even when a mech is heavily damaged, as long as it's still up, it's in the initiative chain. Often it's better to, I usually fight to the death or the tabletop glory, but often it's better if a machine or a mech gets so badly mauled and damaged. If you're not playing with the force withdrawal rules, hide it somewhere. Pull it off. Both arms blown off, weapons gone, engine hit, gyro hit, heat sinks just bleeding out. Hide the mech somewhere so you don't lose the initiative. Because as you start losing the initiative, what happens is you get into a point where you become quickly overwhelmed or you're forced to move pieces in the chain that you don't want to move. So that's a nice overview of initiative for new players. An initiative sync is a piece on the table, a unit, an element that you activate in that chain of initiative that was never going to do anything anyway. So we have two lances. I want you to move your lance, one of your lances first, before I even move my entire lance. So when it comes time to activate initiative, I'll burn something somewhere else, usually like an infantry stand, just hanging out somewhere, or maybe a piece of artillery or a tank. It's just going to hang out there. It's not going to do anything. So what you can see, especially with combined arms, or if you take numerous smaller battle value mechs, you can burn that initiative, use that initiative to keep the pieces you really want to move, the mechs you really want to move last to take advantage of your opponent. Okay, so now we jump into part 3. I am not against house rules at all. I'm all for tinkering with, toying with, playing around with various rule sets, not just in Battletech, but all the war games that I enjoy. But generally speaking, my preference and how I play is rules as written, raw, rules as written, because that's the DNA. That allows me to visit and travel to other gaming clubs, meet fellow Battletech players, and sit down and play a game with certain tactica and certain expectations. So there is a number of house rules, because the easiest way to get initiative syncs, infantry. Now, right away, your mission, your next tactica, if you're new to Battletech, is to check my Battletech archives. Infantry tactics, Karnov tactics, warrior tactics. Karnov is an infantry air transport. Warriors are small attack helicopters. The battle value buy-in is so low. The tactica is fantastic. And what you gain is massive. At least 2 Karnovs dropping off infantry. What you see with infantry is taking a bunch of stanza infantry their initiative. That's what you're going to use, either moving them or once they get into position. I usually have the Karnovs drop off infantry, LRM infantry around the middle of the table, or the hex map so they have range to shoot, and just generic infantry platoons for spotters for my LRMs. Once those infantry pieces get into place, they don't move. They dig in, they hang out. Initiative, okay, that initiative is on my infantry. They do nothing, they stay there. I burn them. So you got to move all your toys. I burn my initiatives, and then I get to move the pieces tactically. This also builds in a little bit of a cushion if I lose initiative. But if I win it, very, very potent, very, very powerful. So that is the idea behind an initiative sync. And I should say with house rules, some people have house ruled infantry because at any battle value game, you can get a lot of infantry and just sync them with the initiative. Some people will rule you have to move all the infantry at once. You have to move all certain vehicles as once. And I'm not agreeing or disagreeing. I think that's fine as long as you know ahead of time what the rules are for the game so you have those expectations. But raw rules as written, infantry, Karnovs, warriors on a side note, but you can easily do the same when I do my locust bombs and other light mechs in exploring that. A tactica that you can use, but certainly a tactica to be aware of.